Welcome back. This is going to be part 2 of the Hymac reseal, cylinder reseal. If you guys haven't checked out the first part of this video, I'll leave a link in the description. Go check that out so you can see the struggles that we had with getting this pin out. So we're going to continue on now today. We're going to cut shortly to a little bit of a montage of us doing or removing the seals and installing the new seals into the gland and onto the piston on the rod. Apologies for not giving any detailed overview of what we were doing. We were actually using the workshop here and the guys had a radio on, so we weren't too sure whether we were going to be able to use any audio off it, so my plan was to put some music over it, but I've actually gone over that footage already, and lo and behold it was perfectly usable. So I do apologise. I'll try and do a bit of a voiceover on some key moments, stuff I feel is worth touching on. But today's task, or priority for today, is to get the rod back into this cylinder. Even though we got it blanked up here, we don't really want to leave it like that, because it is liable to get a moisture inside that cylinder there. So priority today now is to get that rod installed back in, and we're going to run it up and make sure we got no leaks on these new seals we put in. Those who have watched part 1 would recall again the troubles we were having getting this pin out, and it was purely because these two bosses here don't see any grease. The grease nipple on this pin is actually in the eyelet of the end of the cylinder rod, so the only thing that gets grease here is the bushing in the end of the eye. So these bosses then, or what as we found out, end up rusting and the pin seizes inside them. So we talked about in part 1 about potentially drilling a hole in these bosses to install grease nipples, even though this pin doesn't turn in these bosses, just purely for an anti-seize measure, to make it easier to get this pin out should it need to come out in future. However, since filming that, we've acquired this pin that happens to be the correct diameter and length for the bore. Now it's got holes through the ends here that we aren't going to need to utilise, but it'll be perfectly fine for this application. But what this pin has got, and I've never seen one like this before, is it's got grease points in either end of the pin. So we can grease it from both sides, and the grease, or the way the grease comes out in this pin, happens to be inside them two bores. So I think we're going to utilise this pin, as you've just seen, or as you will see. We put a new bush in the end of the rod, so we've got a fresh bush in there. We've mic'd up this pin, and it's well within spec. It's actually a 50mm pin. There is a slight bit of play to the pin, because these bores are slightly worn, as you'd expect on a machine of this age, but nothing that warrants line boring at present. Before we're going to use this now over the next year or so, it's certainly not worth spending any time boring this out. As I mentioned in part 1, or at the end of part 1, the plan is to do a full overhaul on this back actor after show season next year, so we'll reassess this at that time, and then if it does need line boring or we deem to need addressing, we will do so. But for now, that is going to be more than good enough for what we need out of this machine over the next year. We are going to have to weld a tab onto this pin here, because the way this pin is retained on this machine is a through bolt that comes back through the arm here. There's a spacer to go between the side of the arm and the tab on the pin. So we are going to have to, when we get it back together, work out where we need that tab, where we want these grease nipples positioned, and then we're going to have to just make up and weld a tab onto here so we can retain the pin. Like I say, this was obviously made for a different application where the pin was retained with bolts or pins through the pin there. So nothing too major. And the other thing we need to do then is, I thought we had some, turns out we haven't. We need to get some shims so we can pack out the end of this rod properly. So as I said, priority for today, get that rod back in the cylinder. Sounds easy, guarantee it's not going to be.
why she was leaking. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh dear.
Yeah.
That's
at least
done.
That's nice when you find something like that, because you know you are then
Yeah.
changing something, and that was the
Gone
cause.
very brittle.
Yeah. Still a bit left in there. Look.
Yeah. Usually that way. I'd imagine. Yeah.
Think?
Yeah. This pressure comes on against this face here.
Oh, and then just
Yeah.
and then swells it out.
Yeah. So it makes.
Yeah. Another pair of hands.
About 250 quid for 3 bits of that box. That's not much. If I send that box off, I'll put back about 3 grand of it.
Be careful not to roll the seals when you do this.
Yeah.
Like that.
New seal. Find out now that the rings are the wrong.
bead on here on this piston.
Yeah. Is that too easier over the O-ring?
Bead it over, yeah. Still, it's going to be tight to get on mine. I need a little tap.
Huh?
Too far. Now you're gonna risk. Pulling our back over the top of it.
Yeah. Because you'd probably burn it then when you're pulling it back.
Yeah, you'll damage your seal. My fault. Try again.
Shuffle again.
All I do is keep a bit of pressure this side.
Right.
And just gently. Being very careful not to burr this piston. So I'm using a copper mallet. That's that on there. Could put that on after. Yeah, we'll pop it on after actually. New seal stack. Made up of three seals. They go over the top of the piston. Let's put them on one by one. So, trim them behind.
Yeah.
Got split nut then. And then these nuts are held in with these two halves of this.
Right.
Almost like a collet on the you'd have on a valve stem.
Oh yeah.
These get held in then with the weigh bands.
Right.
They're good for all about 5 minutes, these gloves, aren't they? In fact, I'm going to pop that on there. First.
Clever idea, mate. What's that? Put that split
90 degrees to the split on the nut there, just so they don't pull apart as much.
Yeah.
And same on the other end. Shim.
Marvellous engineering, mind. The tolerances.
For the era, yeah.
Yeah, because this
76, is it?
76. So this would have all been machined on lathes and
And that's it. There it is. Completely dry.
not too bad.
Not too bad. See the discoloration in here from when it was
Heat.
yeah, where the end was welded on, look. Yeah. That's right, it's still got a coating of oil all over the bore anyway, that's protecting it. There's no it's hard to show on the camera, but there's no deep scratching or anything on it. You can still see the hone on it, in fact. So we're actually trying out some new microphones today as well.
Yeah, hopefully
the sound is a bit better, but it is blowing an absolute gale today, so I hope the sound doesn't turn out too terrible. But
surprise,
let us know in the comments if you think the sound quality is better than our previous videos.
Surprise, surprise, here in South Wales we've had copious amounts of rain again.
Right, so I think what we're going to do here is we'll sit this rod on the floor. We'll lay this bubble wrap out so it doesn't get covered in dirt. We'll sit this on the floor. We'll sling it around the centre of gravity.
Yeah.
And I think we'll pick it up with a Manitou then and hover it or offer it up to place. Just so we're not fighting with the weight of the rod. At least the weight is going to be supported with this, and then we can concentrate on getting the seals in without pinching them.
Yeah.
I was quite concerned about getting this in, just because of the way this seal is sitting and sticking out this way. Look, you can just see there. I was quite concerned about getting this back in to the cylinder without pinching it. But looking at this now, there is a fair lead on the end of this. This should help compress that seal as it goes in, so we shouldn't have too much trouble in getting that back in. We'll obviously coat all the seals in hydraulic oil before we slide them in to aid assembly.
The way I think a seal, when the hydraulic pressure acts behind it, if the taper's the right way, then the pressure of the seal forces the the taper on the seal out, so it just gets tighter. So with it coming in on that lead, it'll compress and then it'll come out, and then as oil gets behind it, it'll just get tighter and stop the oil coming through. I think I'm right in saying that's the way for anybody who's interested in that, the sort of science behind the seal.
Yeah, so the front end of this cylinder here is rusted and pitted, but I think we'll clean that up slightly now, just make sure there's no rough edges or anything on that. But the seal itself actually sits in front of that. You can see the matching corrosion here on the front of this gland, and that's because there is no oil this far up on the gland. Obviously it doesn't come past, or it shouldn't come past this seal here, this seal is the entire reason that we're having to reseal this cylinder rod. So yeah, that seal actually sits behind that corrosion, so we're not too concerned about that.
Yeah, that's balanced nicely there now, so we can have one either side.
Oh yeah, that's easier, don't it?
Yeah. Are we gonna lubricate this up?
Yeah, took some oil over that now, over the seals.
Yeah, we'll give them a quick wipe over.
So we can't slide him in.
When it all goes in.
So as this goes in, these half nuts on the back here are a bit loose at the minute, but as this goes into the cylinder now, and these weigh bands tighten up inside the cylinder, it'll pull everything, pulls everything nice and tight. I think we're going to have to drop him down a little bit. We're a little bit high there, but let's get some oil on him.
Can you play it on the rag or just
over?
yeah.
So I'm just rubbing in. We have to chuck a bit on the inside of the ball as well, to the barrel.
Yeah. Just to read
Make sure they're 90 degrees to the split.
good thinking on that.
Right, if you hold him there then, roughly in position,
It's not going to be a lot.
I'll drop it down and
Sort of iron up. We're talking millimeters. Yeah, oh. can't get enough purchase to go to the sonic for me.
Can we tap?
Try in,
Sledgehammer. Just going to give him a little bit of a tap on the end of the eye. Give him a wiggle.
Oh, hang on. I think you need to compress that a bit more, or...
There we go.
I know. As you can see how tight that is, you can imagine the pressure that's needed to lift the weight of the boom, the dipper arm. Tremendous pressure at work with hydraulics.
Next thing, gotta get a gland in.
Yeah.
Oh. More oil on him there. Pour it over. Take it hopefully.
That lead should compress.
Don't be shy. Up. As I said, blowing a gale. Alright.
Is that up against the seals now?
Might be up against the piston now.
Yeah.
So we might need a bit more. Actually, it's pulling back a bit. We're gonna tap. That should be it. That should be it. Just tapping him in, I think. Damaging your paintwork. Well, not bad on the oars there either.
No, pretty well lined up.
Alright, so we got them nipped up there now. Get the strap taken off here. What we've really got left now give that a lot of clean up there. As you can see the new wiper seal there in the end of the gland as well. All we've really got left now is tighten up the unions on the end. We ended up just putting these back on loosely rather than blanking them off. So we're going to nip them up now. I'm going to top off the hydraulic fluid. We're just going to put this stuff back in that came out of the ram originally. This machine is due a hydraulic service. We get that done before the spring, for show season. The engine was done, or the engine had a full service when we rebuilt it. So that doesn't need doing, it's just the hydraulic system. But we'll pop that back in now, just so we know there's enough fluid in the tank, and then I think we'll fire it up.
Check
We'll retract the cylinder back and forth a couple of times without being attached to the arm. Just get any air, push any air out of the system, and then we'll put the eye back in place and pop the pin through. We're not going to, obviously, as I mentioned at the start of the video, we need to put a tab on this, but we're going to get that done.
Just check it
at
under
a later
load.
date, yeah. As I said, the priority for today was just getting this rod back in the cylinder to avoid any corrosion on the inside of that cylinder. Oh, they all like support machine.
Yeah.
That might be a job for the new year.
What's that?
See if we can disconnect the buzzer.
Right. 12 volt on. There she goes.
So there we go. Is it? Somebody's had a romantic evening, ain't you? Right. I'll just cycle it a couple of times then. Back and forth, dig the pin out. Push the air out of the I've got shit new. Yeah, I promise you. 2 weeks? 2 weeks. Slide in now.
How far are we there? Yeah, back a touch. Back in a little bit. Yeah. You can have the glory, you put in the pin in. Yeah.
Get a couple more and turn this in. We'll push it through now. Bring the arm up and down a couple of times. We'll check these seals with a little bit of weight on them. Once we can't run it, we can still short this pin, the tap out on this pin.
It's tight.
Position it down like half an hour until we put pop the grease nipples in. Yeah, just so we don't go in the sport, yeah.
Well, I've ordered grease nipples.
Yeah, well, so we'll put 2 in there, one either side of the pin and one in the top of there. We'll cover that off now, I think.
Yeah.
Just tape them off for now. So stop they go in there. But you give them a try now. Cycle the arm up and down. Just to put a bit of weight on the shoe there.
Yeah.
Obviously we can't replicate any digging forces in a minute. Use up this pen, but get his tap on it.
Round the other way.
We got no leaks there, have we?
That's worked. Fair play. Success.
Always satisfying when I have to repair and it actually actually worked. As you would have seen there on the video, it looks like we got a bit of a leak on this slew ram down here. So these slew rams on this machine are actually single acting, so they're only pressurised on this side of the piston. Hard to show, but on the back of the cylinder here, obviously your typical ram would have two ports. You'd have a port up here, a port down there, both connected up the hoses. On the back end of this ram, there's a vent port at the back of the cylinder. It's actually just a hole that's running straight through the cylinder. So the back side of the piston doesn't actually see any oil, and that's just a vent hole pushing any air pressure out. So they actually work together, these cylinders. So when you slew left, the head of this cylinder here is pressurised. It brings the arm over. And then likewise then for slew right, it's this ram here that gets pressurised. What looks to be happening here, it looks like we've got a little bit of bypass on the seals in this piston. Or the seals on this piston in this ram. We got a little bit of oil going on the back side of the piston there where it shouldn't be. So when the seals,
proper seals.
If that is the one that you did.
Oh, this is the one I did.
That's the one you did.
And they were cobbled together. It wasn't a genuine seal. It was 3 taper seals that they put back together, back to back, just to make the space up.
Right.
So whether,
yeah,
I might have to go to Hymac parts fella again and get if he's got the genuine ones in stock. Because as you can see, they've got like a serration. Yeah. So
what's happening now is we've got a bit of oil going on the back side of that piston, and when that cylinder's retracting, rather than it just pushing air out the vent, you've also got oil coming out as well. So another one on the list, another job to do. Yeah.
Well, that just about wraps up this this little episode. Small win, but a big win, because obviously we've stopped the ram leaking. A few more snagging jobs to do, like we said, with the grease nipples and in the top of the eye. And in true fashion, the rain's just started to come in. So
good timing.
Good timing, yeah. Thanks
as always, guys. Thanks for watching. Yeah. Catch you on the next one.